Ellipses. An ellipse is a compressed circle. So if this is a circle and you want to look at an ellipse as it's compressed, it's going to shrink its size down this way. Now, a circle is derived from a square, so if I were to draw perfectly straight lines around the circle, I would have a perfect square. Now, an ellipse is very similar to that in regards to it starts off with geometry. So what we're going to do first is we're going to make a rectangle instead of a square. Square is going to be a circle, but a rectangle we're going to kind of have a compressed circle, which is called an ellipse. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a perfect rectangle. Now, this is the fast way. There's also another effective way, but it takes a little longer, and that's using perspective. But we're not going to use perspective with this example. And to be honest, it's very difficult to tell if you're working small anyway, if you're using perspective or if you're taking on this approach. So, first thing I want to do is create that rectangle. Any size, doesn't matter. Look just like this, right? Second thing you want to do is find the halfway point. I don't have a ruler here and I don't want to measure, but I'm just going to guess where the halfway point is. And I'm going to see if it's equal on both sides using my pencil. And it's equal, so that's my center point. If one side is the same as the other, it's in the center. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to see if that's my center point. I'm going to see if it's equal. It's a little low, I think it's right there. So there's my center point here. Okay, so I've broken this into 4 parts, quadrants. And what I'm going to do now, this is my little trick, I'm going to make the letter C about halfway the distance between here and here. I'll stop. And I'll make a little curve, which is a backward C, about here. Also what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a subtle arc right about here. I'm going to make another subtle arc right about here. And then I start to kind of connect these shapes. I'm doing this very carefully, and then on top of that, then I can start to perfect it. Perfect that line. Now the thing with an ellipse, it's always turning. It never flatlines. What I mean by that, it never flatlines, and an ellipse never points on the edges, and it never flatlines. So those two are not ellipses. This is an ellipse where it continuously moves. So the trick is to practice ellipses over and over and over again and get really good at them, and eventually you can kind of just sketch them out. Okay? So there's the ellipse.